Hey everyone, this is going to be a tutorial for Yono Celestial Elephants No EQD tutorial. I think I said tutorial twice, who cares? Anyways, the way I'm doing this is I'm going to segment into different videos. Those videos, if new strats are found for each of the worlds or each of the areas that I segment the videos with, I can just replace the video rather than replace the entire guide, which should be a lot easier for updating it and keeping it up to schnuff, I guess. But anyways, the category no EQD is no early Queen's Dungeon skip. Or no early Queen's Dungeon, not skip. Skipping early Queen's Dungeon is what we do in this. Queen's Dungeon is the last dungeon in the game. You go from Nightingale City, which is the third world, to the 8th world. So it's a pretty significant skip, which skips a lot of some of the cool stuff you get to do in other worlds. So we've elected to create 2 categories so we can still show off all the interesting tricks and strategies we found. But anyways, when you're learning no EQD, you actually learn pretty much all the strategy stuff for a set of skips you do at the end of the game that any percent will do, so it's pretty transferable if you want to eventually end up doing both. But anyways, so timing starts after you delete all your saves, you have a new game, and you press A to get into it. So I'm going to press A, I'm going to start mashing start. I'm going to start mashing the start button, because that'll cancel the intro cinematic. It's a little bit delayed when it cancels, so it'll look like it's not working, but after a few seconds after pressing it, it'll cancel the cinematic. And then after that, you're going to be mashing X and A, because each of those progress the dialogue. So by mashing between them, you get a lot faster of a skip for the, or not skip, but just going through the dialogue faster. You can just mash one, so if you're like really good at just mashing one button, you can go for that. I know people can mash faster than I can with 2 buttons with 1 button. So, but anyways, to get out of here, just hold D. You can dash into the exit. After this, the rest of the dialogue for this section you don't have to mash for, though other dialogue in the game you will. You can just press B. You can just mash B instead, and it'll just cancel text box. So for this, we're just gonna hold up and right. Sometimes that turtle gets in your way, it's really sad. You press A and dash into the cutscene, and the second the dialogue shows up, you can just press B and cancel it. There's a couple ways of doing this. One that pretty much everyone does, and you should do, and one that nobody does, but I figured out like a few minutes ago. If you wedge yourself in this gap and you dash in the right way, which that was not, you can kind of see it right there. You get some height, and then you can just go around the rocks. Otherwise, you should just hit both of them. If you get too close to objects you're trying to dash against in this game, if you push right up against them, sometimes your hitbox won't actually hurt the thing. So you don't want to get right next to it. You kind of want to hit it, do a little loop, and then hit it again. You'll see when we fight enemies we do that a lot. We'll hit something and we'll do like a loop while we wait for it to cool down. So we're just not next to them. 1, so we don't get hit, and 2, so that we're not having our hits get eaten. So don't get too close to things you're trying to dash against. So for this, there's also 2 ways of doing it. One way that is faster, one way that is normal way of doing it. It's a little slower but more consistent. If you want to do the more consistent way, go to the right. If you want to go less consistent way, you kind of hook the left side. The more consistent way, hook the right side, dash in the conversation. Don't mash the dialogue like I did, just press B. Sorry, it's bad habits. I just recently learned that you can just press B. Then after that, you're just going to push the block twice. Now, something worth mentioning is that dashing across gaps in this game gives you an increased speed. As you can see, I went really fast there. So normal dash, pretty slow. Not really slow, but, and then dash across a gap, I get a lot of speed. So especially off ledges like this, it's really worth doing. So, and then I'll show you a slightly faster way of doing it. So press B, cancel that conversation, break the rocks or go along that bush. So for the faster way, we're gonna hug this gate. It's not too important that you do it, just like slight movement optimization. You're gonna dash into the darker square that's next to the last fence post. So to there, that's where the conversation starts. Once this comes up, you can just press B and cancel it. You don't have to wait later, you just mash B. And then for this, you're going to hug this edge, kind of hold like a up left angle. If you're just using a D-pad, up left should work. And then you just go along here like this until you get to here, then you hold an up right angle, push along here, then you get over to here without pushing the block, because there's a big invisible wall right here trying to block you from just dashing across. So anyways, once you get up here, you can angle yourself this way and dash. You have to be a little bit careful because it's really easy to get a dash that sends you off into the water, which loses time. Fun fact, dashing off into the water and dying loses time. Dashing in the water only loses you health. Health management is important in some sections, but not too important right now. You'll get enough random hearts, should be fine. But anyways, then you can dash in the conversation, just walk into it depending on how much space you have. Press B to cancel conversation, and keep going. You can dash across this gap. There's a couple ways of doing this. One really hard way that like never works for me, and another way that you should probably do. So you can do a dash. It worked first try. You can do a dash along that little edge right there of that hill, land on this rock, and then wiggle up to this platform and keep going. Or you can do the commonly done strat of pressing B to blow into that pinwheel, walking along this, and then dashing across the left corner of it. You can do that this second, it's over there. I delayed a little bit so I could explain it. But anyways, either way, you'll end up being here, one way or another. If you fall down onto these, onto this rock, or these bushes, you just need to, I can't even do it, get on this rock, you just need to wiggle yourself up against the wall. And then once you're there, we're just gonna keep going. You can do a dash along here to get over this bush, and then you're nicely angled so you can dash across here. You can get like a really sort of volatile dash where it sends you all the way over here, because you want to be hugging this top side so that you can quickly get up this ramp and go to this box. So no real optimization here, just pushing the boxes. Second you're done pushing the boxes, hold upright so that you can walk across this platform before it goes too far up. So just second you see it start, you push the box the second time and you see it start sliding down, you can hold upright. You won't move, but you'll be holding the correct angle. Anyways, pull the pinwheel. You have a few seconds to goof around, spin around, do what you want. Press Y, it locks your angle so you can spin like that, which is actually useful later on. You don't have to talk to her. Once you're about here-ish, once you're about to cross into the bridge, you can dash, save some time. So this is Windhill. This, as a few of the other sections I've had, has a couple ways of doing it. A safe, consistent way, and then a faster way that saves 12 seconds, though the consistency of it is a bit dubious. So anyways, you can go to the left for either way. I go to the right and grab this chicken for the faster way, but I'll just show the slower, consistent way first. So we're gonna go up here, water, drinking water by pressing B. You can dash across here. As you'll see, when you've drank water or have any other sort of power, you'll move a little bit slower. So that's important to keep track of later on. Sometimes it's worth, when you're done using a power-up, I guess, to shoot the rest of it so you can move a little bit faster. But anyways, we're gonna use this water, angle up towards him, about here, a little bit further back, you can shoot him. It's pretty forgiving. And then after you splash it out, I didn't really show it, but you want to kind of mash A and then dash towards them. I can do it again, actually, show the correct thing. And then just for this dialogue, you mash X and A ton. And then you would walk into the bridge and keep going. So I'll show it one more time the correct way, actually doing the dash. Sorry, I was completely just lost in explaining things. But yeah, go up this bridge, get the water, dash off here for some speed. Avoid this chicken that always gets in your way. Angle yourself upwards. Splash on him. Dash so that you're there. Mash X and A. Then you can hold upright and then just dash straight into the bridge from here, which I will not show because then it'll overwrite my save because I didn't make an auto or a manual save. You can only have one manual save, so when you're practicing, make sure to do it and use it for situations like this. So anyways, monk skip. Saves about 12 seconds, roughly, probably more than that. Grab a chicken, blow the pinwheel, come along this way. You want to angle yourself upright and throw the chicken. Doesn't really matter, it doesn't need to be too specific pronunciation. You just want it to be up against here, and then you just push it, you're up against here now. The way I like to do it is to get like a really small angle here where you can see he's like barely moving to the right, and the second you see him start running, that's when you dash. So you see he starts to run, I dash. I made a manual save, right? I did not. I did, okay. Oh, no, I didn't, but... I'll show it again. Grab chicken. This is a lot harder if you only have 8 directions. If you have an analog stick, it's a lot easier. But there is a way of doing this with 8 directions where you kind of do a... I don't think I could do it now, but I'm not very good at it. But you kind of curve like that, and then you blow your trunk as you go onto the bridge, and you will hit the loading zone for it. But if you do only have 8 directions and you need help learning that method of doing the monk skip, I would contact PLP, who has a GameCube controller, so he's locked to those 8 movements. So anyways, throw chicken, push it up here, small angle, then you get across. So now we're at the Hedgehog Forest. That'll be it for this video. I'm gonna release videos for all the areas. That's all you need to know for the opening section. Definitely would not suggest doing monk skip your first few runs, but then after that, just practice it, feel it out, see where you're at with it. If you feel like you can do it consistently enough, go for it. It's definitely worth saving time, and it's within the first 2 minutes of the run, so why not go for it? Feel free to drop any questions here on any of the videos if you confused about anything, or contact any of the runners. It's definitely a very interesting game and worth looking into, but yeah, expect some more tutorial videos for all the different areas.